to show me. And this is the one that you and four other of your students have built together.
Yes, and so if you've ever been to a data center or you've seen a picture of a data center, they've got these, and we've got a simulated one downstairs. It's not a big one, but you'll see these rows and rows and columns of computer servers and everything else. Each one of those servers at the lowest cost is probably $2,500. So for our students, they need to learn how to build data centers. Well, that cost us tens of thousands of dollars to do. So we do teach them the same concepts of building it, except now we're using something called a Raspberry Pi. And so each one of these can be a Linux server. Now it's not as powerful, but it runs the same software and operating system. And so over here on the side, this is a router. And so for each server rack, you have a switch and a router for your networking. Runs the same software that other routers run, same thing with a switch. Then they run, as an example, a web server, a database server. And then they may also put in a file server in different types that you would see in a small or medium business or an enterprise. This whole thing is less than $1,000. And so we've got 6 of these that we've built, because we have in our computers labs, we have 6 switches. And so this will plug directly into UNA's network, and it becomes a micro data center that students can work on. Well, from a cybersecurity standpoint, we had to teach them security, web security, email, database security. Well, the only way to do that is to build it in the cloud, because we don't have the hardware, and that's very expensive. So now we can build it from bare metal, meaning there's nothing on these devices. They have to format the hard drive. They have to load the operating system. They have to download and configure the software. And then over here, this little guy is running something called Kali Linux. And Kali Linux is a hacking platform. And it's got hundreds of hacking tools. And so we use it. Yes, you can use it for evil, but what we use it for is to test security. It's called penetration testing. And so this is one of those areas where we saw a need, high cost. How can we provide existential learning, in other words, hands-on learning for our students, that they can go into a job interview and go, oh yeah, I've set up this micro data center where we're running a web server and email, blah, blah, blah. We use Linux. This is the software we use, which is what all the other companies are using. And this is how we did it. Well, that becomes very interesting in a job interview, and then they can start talking about what they learned and how they learned to do database testing and how to test websites to see if they're secure. And so this is where we have a concept called blue team, red team. And so the blue team is trying to configure the servers and everything to make it secure. Well, the red team comes in and they put their little black hat on and they try and hack the systems. Okay, and so this becomes our infrastructure class. But other faculty can check these out as well and use them for demonstrations, teach them other pieces, because we can load any Linux software on this device that you want to and have multiple options. So even to the point where each student could have its own software blade or server blade to be able to run stuff.
That's amazing.
And so we're trying to, because, cost technology, if you stay on the top, is very expensive.
How would you say like at the most, what would you think on right off the top of your head would be like the number exactly?
Yeah, I mean, for a university size, it could be millions of dollars a year to continually upgrade new software and hardware, because we already spent, I'm sure, and you could talk to Evan Thornton, our CFO. I'm sure he would love to talk to you, or even Ethan Humphreys, who's our Chief Technology and Security Officer. Both great guys that would probably love to talk to you about what all is involved and the costs and the time. We upgrade our computers every year from a software standpoint, and then every about 3 to 5 years they replace the hardware. So we just replaced all the hardware in all of our I think in all the labs this year.
Right.
So it just got updated to newer stuff. We're constantly evaluating lower cost, higher quality, better things. There's some new computers that are coming out that are just a little bit more expensive than the ones we have, but they have AI chips built into them.
Right, and that's something you were trying to adapt like into the workforce and like how to
That's right.
teach students. Mm-hmm. Right.
Catherine's a perfect example of that, you know. But we've also done some crazy stuff. So it goes back to needs. So 2 years ago when AI started coming out, you had to have like $100,000 computer to even run it.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and a couple of students went to Ethan and go, "You got any junk we can at least try?" And so we did a whole research project on how cheap of a system can we legitimately run AI business cases. So basically, what's a business case that real businesses have a need for AI?
Mm-hmm.
How can we do it? And we got it down to $3,500.
Wow.
And so that was 2 years ago, and of course that keeps coming down every year.
Mm-hmm.
But we actually went over to their junk pile, pulled some of the servers that you'll see downstairs if you want to go look at them,
Mm-hmm.
and we actually took those, cleaned them up, put new operating systems on there, and now we've got more resources for our students too. So we try and recycle as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
To save money and provide those real world experiences for our students.
Exactly. So I kind of like to circle back on what you had said earlier about like the what technologies like are available that a lot of students use for like business wise or marketing, interior design. So what would you say? And again, I didn't even know this beforehand before you even told me. Like, so how broad of a like perspective like is that available to students? Like you said like with marketing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Besides CS students, like the technologies you have here, like what's the extent of like depending on like the major of the student, like what's available here? Like
Yeah, so I can't speak really for the other colleges.
Mm-hmm.
I can nursing a little bit because we're doing an AI project with them, so I had to become familiar. I mean, they spend a ton of money. Like those dummies that they have up there are like $130,000 a piece.
Yeah.